What's up, everybody? Happy first Wednesday of March, y'all. We in March already, a third of the way of the new year. I am live. I am your host, Sonja, and this is Prim and Proper Sports. I hope everybody is doing great on this Wednesday, midway through the week. Let me adjust some light here, guys. Felt like I was in deer in headlights. Hope you all are doing well. So pop in, say hello. This is my midweek show, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're on the West Coast, that's 6 p.m. All right, we got a little technical difficulties there. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, y'all. Like, seriously, I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and all of a sudden, there is not. Hello, allow me to share this stream to some other platforms here. Thank you guys for allowing me to share this stream with you all. Everyone over at the Huddle Sport, official Carolina Panther Reds, my girls over there, the official Unity group in Charlotte, and I may have to, but I got a lot of sports news to talk to you guys about. So hang with me real quick. Let me commence to doing that here shortly. I hope everybody's doing good. Make sure you drop in and say hello. I see the comments coming in. Give me 1 second. What's up to YouTube as well? Believe it or not, guys, it's already getting hot. I mean, at least on the East Coast, winter just got out of here in a hurry, seriously. Y'all know I'm a winter baby, so I'm not really up for the spring already, because that is usually the time that when you see spring pop on real quick, next thing you know, it's a lot of pollen. So we have a pollen alert here in Georgia on tomorrow. So let me go ahead and get this shared out. Thank you to all 30 people that are on right now. What's All right, guys. So here I am. I'm back. I don't know what's going on tonight with this stream. I'm literally looking. If you guys have any suggestions about other platforms to stream to, please let me know. As you see, let me stress some of these comments coming in. I saw my comments. All right. So if you were on a few minutes ago, please drop back in and say hi to me. So sorry. Everything is just kind of crazy right now. I'm beginning to wonder if it's my desktop or not. But anyway, of course, definitely watching. Thank you, B, for joining us. Production behind the team, and Pink Fan Fur. Thanks for watching, Queen of MPVN. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. B, oh, God, I feel like I might need you here in a second. Anyway, all right, guys. And of course, MPN is taking on a new platform with shows throughout 24/7. We even have a movie critics show that is James and Brian, and they are hosting that on Tuesday nights. No, Monday nights, my bad. And so you don't want to miss that. They do older movies and newer movies, so you get a chance to um, weigh in on your opinion about some of the amazing movies that are out there. All right, guys, here we go. So let's start off. The Dallas Cowboys are reassessing the contract of CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. I mean, it's so weird to think about that because it feels like Dak just got this contract with Dallas and to now be readjusting. Now, don't forget, I did tell everybody the salary cap actually had been adjusted during the offseason, and looks like some things it was not even beneficial to assist them. All right, guys, the movie critic show, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for that, Brian. All right, so that contract is being negotiated so that they can save $47 million in cap space. They are not the only ones with the financial situation. The Kansas City Chiefs sits all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Rams for a package including a 26 first-round pick. Now, when you say a package, that usually is indicative of some sort of cap space release as well for them. The Green Bay Packers have re-signed running back Chris Brooks to 2 years, $4.85 million contract. And Washington has signed defensive tackle Shy Tuttle. They've signed him to a 1-year extension. And we'll put a pin for just a second. You are absolutely welcome. Always happy because you guys always shout me out. So definitely glad to be able to do this. Green Bay guys, once again, let's go ahead and start right there. Ariana Rodgers, whatever you guys want to call them, once again in the middle of some type of conundrum of drama, since you guys know that Mike McCarthy will be taking the spot of Mike Tomlin. They're hiring another Mike. So if they've got monogram towels in the locker room that just said Mike, they don't even have to change them. They've just got another Mike. Go figure. So anyway, basically, he's going to be taking over. Aaron Rodgers now is under no pressure to solidify his contract. They're giving him no deadline. And in my opinion, you're setting yourself up, Mike McCarthy, to be fired again as soon as Aaron is not happy. In fact, he will make league history as being the only quarterback to get a coach fired twice with 2 different teams. So, y'all know I always like to say the verdict is out. So stay tuned for that drama. It's crazy. I mean, they only gave Aaron a 1-year contract anyway. So for him to now in a position that he's basically repeat of last season, everybody out this, that, and third, it's just annoying. Oh, and by the way, I know my banner said happy birthday month. It wraps up 30 days. Y'all, February is a short month. And so today is the end of the 30 days. I don't get a 30 days, so I just realized it was still trickulating up there. Let me switch out my banner real quick. This is my first, first live of this month. I guess it's been so long since I've set up anything. I'm going to switch this over to a nice hue of green for St. Patty's Day and all that stuff coming up. Don't get excited, Eagles or Jets fans. This is not for you. Even though next week I will have an Eagles fan on. Renee is a huge Eagles fan. She works for ESPN in Philadelphia and very, very well accomplished. I've had her on before, and I cannot wait to have her on again. And so, yeah, we'll have Renee on here soon. All right, let's run through this. I've had so many glitches, y'all. I really aim for perfection when I come on here. So to see stuff freezing up, kicking me out, this, that, and the third is not a happy moment. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers did appear on the Pat McAfee show today, and fans were basically trying to get a definitive answer on him today, the yes or the no. That's when he basically told everybody to just chill. He's not going to talk about it, stay patient, noting he hasn't any writing. There's no contract or any of that right now. Not even with team yet. So this is just what Aaron does. I don't even know why people are shocked or feeding into that. I just say it's just Aaron Rodgers. All right. A big trade. That message that I gave you guys earlier about the Rams Chiefs, that was a major defensive move for Los Angeles Rams. Of course, they are acquiring Trent McDuffie, which is a huge acquisition for them. In exchange for a lot of draft picks. You guys know the draft is coming up here next month. Like, we are literally about a month from it now. And it's exciting to think about within the league, everybody that's moving around. Big news that I told you guys about at the start, Stephon Diggs, New England Patriots separating ways with him. Of course, he has a criminal situation he's trying to, alleged criminal situation he's trying to adhere to, take care of with a preliminary hearing coming up in April. Not sure what team he goes to. Like I said, I kind of hinted around Dallas may take on that burden because they love to take on those types of theatrics. And we'll just have to see. Of course, Kyle Pitt of the Atlanta Falcons is basically one of the players that receiving a tag from the list of players, and I'm sure it will change and increase as we go on and get towards the draft. Daniel Jones, quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, is going to be in a transition tag himself. Don't know where he will go. You guys know he has battled injuries. I personally feel him being with Jonathan Taylor at the beginning of the season was the best bet for him to have a solid season. And then we just saw Indianapolis crash and burn. George Pickens, the wide receiver with the Dallas Cowboys, just really got there. Non-exclusive tag. And Breece Hall, the running back out of the Jets, non-exclusive tag as well. Other big news, Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals has been released as quarterback. Not sure of any specific landing spot that he would have at this time, but I don't know, guys. I just kind of see him in a Miami type of scenario. I mean, I don't know what the Dolphins are planning on doing with Tua Tagovailoa, but there's been talks every season about their lack of happiness with him, for lack of a better description. And so it's going to be interesting to see where some of these players end up, if they end up at all. I really feel Kyler will have an opportunity to kind of bounce back like Sam Darnold did. Everyone had kind of counted Sam out because he went to a backup position. And the next thing you know, we're watching Sam once again do Sam, and now even better than Sam things because he is the Super Bowl champ. So, and there's that. All right, so let's get over to other place that I want you guys about. The Los Angeles Chargers are the most active team with a bunch of franchise tags right now. I mean, they're tagging stuff like team guys, like it's a sale over there. Will Disley, the tight end, was released after 2 seasons. This move is going to save the Chargers roughly $4 million in cap space. Mekhi Becton, the guard, also released. Started 15 games last year. Like, that's almost the entire season. But the Chargers are moving in a different direction than last season, guys. And so they're working on reinforcing their interior line. So Mekhi has been released. Savion Washington, the tackle out of the Chargers, was waived by them as well. Tyler Bidiaz, the corner, was released by the Washington Commanders as well. The center, my apologies. Stephon Diggs, I told you guys about him. That was really big after just 1 season with the team. I do think that has something to do with his personal off-field drama. And let's be clear, it wasn't just the criminal stuff. I really do feel like sometimes, guys, entertainment gets entangled with the game, and which leads me to my plug for my new show, The Legal Score. It'll be coming up here soon. It will air on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Brian, feel free to comment and correct me if I'm correct, but it will be 4 p.m. I will be talking about, hi Rochelle, how you doing? Thanks so much for joining me. Always good to have you on. Please share this live stream. But anyway, yeah, my show, The Legal Score. Disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, but I am in law school. And even if I wasn't in law school, I just have such a highly vested interest in trials that are online, trials that involve celebrities or athletes of any sort. I will also have guests on their occasion talking about other things, because I've had a lot of you say, hey, I only really watch because I know you and I don't know about sports, but I want to support you. So have you ever thought about doing a different show? And the answer is yes. And here I am. And I will be doing that here starting this week, actually. So my first episode will air this Saturday at 4 p.m. and I'll be live and I'll be taking questions. And we talk about things that we don't always get a chance to go to the left or to the right because trying to keep it sports oriented. So just a preview, I am correct about my show. Thank you so much. First of all, let's give him a shout out. Brian, you guys know Friday with the Fellas. You also know him from the 1A Cheat 3 Toes podcast. He's from Detroit. He is a huge supporter, or I should say was a huge supporter of our network that we had last year. And he came on as a guest, and we are literally, I think it's coming up any day now, about a year, like within the next several days, was the time we lost Mac, our producer. And B had come on, and when I tell you, he has really taken this to another level. So now all the graphics and everything you see is him, and then the Pink Fan Fur for the Reels creation as well. But anyway, some of the shows and things we'll talk about are some of the Epstein files. Yesterday I saw on YouTube there was a deposition of William Jefferson Clinton, our former president, and I have not watched it in its entirety. There were segments I just wanted to see what the heck does Bill have to say. Like, are you freaking kidding? I didn't even know about this. So things like that will be discussed. We'll be talking about the situation involving Antonio Brown, of course, now Stephon Diggs, and the list goes on and on and on. So you don't want to miss it. And we'll have some things where we're just talking about regular life stuff. I'm planning on having the lady behind most of my looks. Now, tonight I did my own makeup, but I have a makeup person. She will be on, and she will be talking. She's actually just graduated nursing school, so she's about esthetician, and so we'll be talking about that and just all the fun stuff. You guys know my background always has been faith, family, and football. So now we're going to be bringing in some fashion as well, and it will all be running right here. So I'm so super grateful for the opportunity to be able to connect that. So make sure you stand by. So all you guys that got significant others, your wives, your girlfriends, they're like, oh, okay, I don't know what she's talking about. Tell them to come over on say they'll know what I'm talking about then. So, all right, so let's hop on over to some NBA news, guys. At the halfway mark, we'll be doing the last commercial for Pearson Jones, my niece. This is the last, you know what? I believe she has like 2 days left for a scholarship drive. I want to thank you guys. Thank you, everyone who has donated to her much for a scholarship. All right, the 76ers versus the Jazz. You guys don't even be surprised about this. Joel Embiid, again, another season plagued with injuries. He's out for tonight's matchup against Utah. Of course, this time is a strained right oblique. The team expects him to be back March 7th, but for now, the front court load falls on Andre Drummond. I'm going to be honest, y'all. Joel Embiid is kind of like Zion Williamson. They are out like several times throughout the season. And so my question before I go through the rest of this NBA stuff, what are your thoughts? Personally think, before I even got I personally think that at some point you have to realize your player has gone from being an asset to a liability. And I know that sounds legal, but it's really not. Like, y'all know what it is. It's a player that you invested in, that you, as they say, sold the farm for, cannot stay healthy. He cannot benefit your team. He's on the bench all the time, or or he's at home having surgery, like what have you. When do you decide enough is enough? Of course, everyone's going to be injured at some point, but to be injured every single season is and insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And they are not doing that. Thank you so much. Yes, check out the legal score on Saturdays at 4. Okay, that rhymes. You know what, B? I never even thought about that. When I was setting the time for that with you, I just wanted to do 4 because 4 is my favorite number. And I knew I wasn't doing 4 8. So even though I'm usually up, but not. So I like that. Check out Eagle Score at 4 on Saturdays. And today is 3/4. So just here in a few more days. But anyway, guys, when do you decide enough is enough? Like, I get it. They're like, okay, they'll be back. They'll be okay in a few seasons, a few weeks, whatever. But then this happens again next year, and now your team is once again eliminated from playoff contention. Like, they're not even a factor because you don't have that star athlete that you thought you had you over the edge. Jelly, I don't know. I literally said this. I guess it was like last season. I was talking to James Martin and Brian B.A. Striller was on our show, and James is from New Orleans. And even though he's not heavily vested in the Pelicans, that's his area. And like, hey, I think they need to trade him now while he's at least a little healthy because next injury is on the horizon. I was right. So everybody has to disconnect or disconnect time. Like, you have to know when it's time to go. So I don't know, guys. Joel Embiid is hurt again. So anyway, Grizzlies versus the Trailblazers. John Morant is officially to heal up from a left elbow UCL sprain. He has not played since January, and while they are evaluating him, he was expected to try to come back this week. Fans in Memphis are losing. You know what? They are like having to wait long back. He has to make sure he uses wisely the time he has. Like, he has to get use of his time because he doesn't have time to do anything else. He's got to try to get healthy. Celtics and Hornets, guys. And y'all know I am super excited about the Charlotte Hornets, my home team. Some big things, Con Canupo and crew getting it done in Charlotte. Boston, that they're playing the Celtics. Still navigate without Jason Tatum. Y'all, it feels like forever. But we knew when he that the estimated time for that would be 18 months. So we knew it would go into this season. Achilles injury. But they might get Jaylen Brown back together tonight after he missed time with an illness, undisclosed illness, of course. They do face a surging Hornets team, like I talked to you guys about, that has won 5 straight. So dance off on that. I'm going to go ahead now and take my break so I can adjust some technical stuff, later commercial, and I will be right back and just hold tight and right back.
The God above made you a masterpiece. The vision is clearer, nearer. My God said thee, learn and to lean on his power. Your perspective can be sweet when circumstances are sour. I'm saying. I can see the vision clearer. Your identity is waiting, and you feel that hope is fading. Just hold on, it's gonna be alright. Trust in God, stand firm and hold tight. It's like that, yeah. It's like that, yeah. peace that's not present. I'm searching for feelings of solitude, emotions that's pleasant. Treasure, what do you deem important versus essential? We put our heart and soul in every line behind instrumentals. Coincidental? I think not. God's plan from the very beginning. Create the type of music that make people think twice before sinning. Pleading, Holy Father, please forgive our trespasses. Confusing things we want for things we need in life, our must-haves. Selfish, inconsiderate, narcissistic people. Christ died for all the world, so there is power in Jesus. Issues happen, disagreements, dissensions, distortions. This fallen flesh, we still forget sometimes that God is our portion. Forcing, others won't cut it, nor manipulation. One thing that's very destructive is self-righteous behavior. Satan, he's crafty, throwing darts like babies.
Okay, guys. All right, guys. I've had to come on a different platform because I found out I was glitching super bad. So hopefully this is a lot better for everyone. All right. So here we go, guys. Here we go. So, I was talking before we went to the break. First of all, thank you so much and congratulations to Pearson for her scholarship run, and congratulations to her in advance. And thank you to all of you who have so graciously donated, supported, all of that good stuff for her. I really, really appreciate each of you. So, before we went to the break, I was talking to you guys about when do you know it's time to basically hang it up, like not just from a team perspective, but from overall. Like, I don't want to say that the player would say, hey, I've had enough. It's not like it's the NFL. These guys know, they'll be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. I've given it my all. This is all I have. And God bless everybody. And so I'm trying to figure out, when do you know, as an owner, as a coach, as a manager, that hey, this player that we put a whole lot in just does not have it. I always tell you guys, it's a huge acclamation from college into professional sports. I say that a lot about football, but it's the same with basketball. And Zion Williamson has not been the same, and Duke fans will agree, excuse me, since he came on the scene with the team out of Duke and had this blowout in his shoe. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if the Pelicans even buy into that, because fans are being upset. And once your fans become disengaged and concerned, they're concerned at first, they're concerned. Let's start there. And then they become like overly concerned. Like, hey, this player's always hurt and we're not winning any games. And we have this big name, but he's doing nothing for us. And then it goes from that to, we're now disengaged. We're spending our money every season and we're seeing nothing but losses. And losses do come with the game, but for what price? For your fandom, for your fan base, for those people who work hard to pay their way in and get their tickets, and they are just watching the same player go down. And Zion is getting older. Joella is getting older. to be a celebrity athlete, you are literally training 365 days of the year. You don't really get an off season just because we don't see you on a field or a court or on television. That you're not off. You're supposed to be still conditioning. My first thought was perhaps Zion just maybe just wasn't eating right. Like, he was just glad to be off. He's at home eating all the good food. And he's not worried about conditioning. He'll worry about conditioning once the team comes back. But if you've been like really not treating your body the best way during the off season and you wait until spring training or whenever the training starts for them to start okay eating right and working out, your body is going to be in like culture shock. I mean, it's the same way for us just as lay people. You can't just, hey, press a button and all of a sudden my body's in, training activate if you've not done anything the entire off season. So um it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes down. Let me get a few other notes for you guys here. Because it's very important to think about, and I thought I saw some more breaking news before I hopped off. Hang on, guys. It's very important to just make sure that your fans are always where they need to be. If they're not, and then they're bringing you concerns about your players, it's just time to let it go. And I don't know what it would feel like for the player to be removed, but they have to know at some point, you're being paid to play. And if you're not able to play, then what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Honestly, because it's like you're never able to earn your money. It's kind of like going to a job, but not working. You're just sitting at your desk. At some point, they're going to fire you and you're going to get sent home or whatever because you're not just going to be there sitting as a placekeeper. All right, guys, let me see. I had some news. I don't know why all of my stuff is going down. Let me bring this one out. I'm going to close that one completely. Yeah, so anyway, Um, that's pretty much it. Hang on, let me see. I am having some serious technical issues real quick. This is when you need your behind the scenes person. All right, here we go. Um, I do want to take a moment to talk about a great legend that passed away on today, Lou Holtz, coaching legend who led Notre Dame to so many titles, y'all. He's 89 years old, national champion ship that he earned the first time was in 1988. It burnished his reputation as a master at rebuilding programs. He passed away in Orlando, Florida, where he was surrounded by his family. Of course, the cause is not going to be released, but he was an older gentleman. Life well lived. He was just so significant. The Fighting Irish, of course, have released a statement. Marcus Freeman, the coach of them, said that he offered them great support since he arrived in South Bend and had praised the values about love, trust, and commitment. He also had a 249, 132 7 record over his coaching career with six schools, William and Mary in Virginia being another one, North Carolina State, Arkansas, Minnesota, and South Carolina. And he also coached in the NFL for the New York Jets in 1976. Unfortunately, finishing 3-10. I mean, some things never changed for the Jets. After retiring from coaching, he worked in television and did more than a decade with ESPN. And what he did actually always connected him with the Notre Dame mantra, the Fighting Irish. And so, rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family, friends, and those Notre Dame um, alum and current that were connected with him. All right. So you guys, this may be a topic that will be discussed. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I will bring this up tonight because I think that this will be interesting. So for one, Miles Garrett, guys. I mean, 9 speeding tickets now since 2017. He has officially gotten his next ticket. I don't even know how he has a license right now because in certain states, if you get so many citations within a certain number of years, you get those points, and then when you get them, your license is suspended. Cleveland Browns Garrett is who I'm speaking about. 90 this time, 94 and a 70. Uh, in Northeast Ohio. This is crazy. 1:35 a.m. He was pulled outside of the Cleveland area, way above, actually, Worcester, Ohio, February 21st. He's probably going to pay the fine. Has a court date on next Tuesday, but will not have to show up if he just pays the fine. So I don't know. 94 and a 70 in some states will get you arrested. So I guess, hey, it's Miles Garrett. There you go. Just before that, he was given a ticket last August in a Cleveland suburb of going 100 in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. In 2022, he was cited for failure to control his vehicle after he had a single car accident. Go figure. I mean, no one's surprised about that. He left the road and went into an embankment or whatever. Left shoulder sprain, right bicep strain after his vehicle went off the side of the road and flipped over. You would think if you are driving that fast and you suffer a car accident, first of all, the fear of being in one, like I've had a few, you are terrified. And even like I've never been at fault, but he knew he was at fault. Just to know you got flipped over, bro. And at that time he was also going 20 over 65 in a 45 lane. And so I don't know, guys. I don't know what's gonna be. But yeah, he, got this defensive player of the year. So I guess he could say, I don't know, he's just as fast on the field as he is off the field, I guess if they want to say that. But Miles, you have to slow it down. That's just the end of that one. Like seriously, you have to slow it down. There was another article I wanted to grab and talk to you guys about as I get ready to wrap up here in the next couple of minutes. Um this is so wild. I literally just saw it before I looked at his article. Yikes. I don't know. Anyway, hang on guys. Oh yeah, this is the article right here. This is the article I told you guys I probably will be talking about a little bit more on Saturday, but I don't know because this may be ongoing for a while. Yikes. Chauncey Billups, Detroit Bad Boys, own, very own. When I was like a Detroit fan. Now he was seated at a center table, guys, of a ceremonial courtroom inside the United States courthouse in Brooklyn. This was yesterday, guys. Um, he entered a not guilty plea. If you guys do not know, federal charges from November 24th of 2025 of him being connected to a rigged poker game that enveloped, I always want to say enveloped, but it's really enveloped. But this in this context, it's enveloped the attention of the NBA and the rest of the sports world. He's facing money laundering conspiracy, y'all, fraud conspiracy charges as well, and both of those carry a maximum of 20 years in prison. 30 other defendants are also charged along with Billups. They sat before Judge Ramon Reyes for 3 hours. They had a hearing today. All sorts of procedural, logistical issues, casting Billups as the face of the trial. So they have him at the forefront, guys. That he's looped in with these guys with long rap sheets. A lot of them have violent offenses. Some are referred to as mobsters and members of, you guys know, the black market and things like that, the underworld. And I don't know, guys. They're saying that his fame is what lured people in to participate, and these people in turn turned into victims. Of course, his wife was present. Three daughters were present as well. I don't know. There were some reporters there that, of course, were with him when he played with the Portland. Excuse me, when he coached the Portland Trailblazers as well, and they said this process, this that's why I said this probably won't be talked about Saturday, but it will come up again. By the time they figure out everything, I may be graduating law school and able to give you guys the real deal. They're saying this trial could take quite a while. They're trying to um, just figure out everybody that's been involved. They don't even have all the players yet. As far as people that Billups lured into this, there's a protective order on this case for the evidence, which means the evidence will be viewed by the defendants and their attorneys only, and the media will not get access to that. So we won't have any official documents or things like that, at least not right now. It's kind of the equivalent of having a gag order. They say they have a terabyte of bank records. Y'all, that is thousands of pages of bank records. I'm trying to figure out how long this has been going on. They also say they have surveillance and they have other electronic data, which usually means emails or texts or things like that. And they are expecting to go to trial in September. 31 defendants total, including Billups, are required to appear again. Well, excuse me, they did appear today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a status hearing, and they're giving them a few months to review all this information. So I just am baffled because I know that people are human, but to witness other people go through similar situations, regardless of their celebrity status, and they are not spared any mercy when they face the judicial system. How could you become involved in that situation like that? Not like from a judgmental standpoint, but just, hey, I see this over here. I don't want to ever be involved in that. Or was it already going on so long that because the feds sit on stuff for years, guys. They build, and they build. They will see one thing and they'll wait 4 or 5 years. There's no statute of limitations on criminal prosecutions when it comes to the feds. That's why there is a 92% conviction rate. Because as they say, when the feds got you, they got you. Like their evidence is stitched up. They have the best prosecutors. It's extremely difficult to build a federal case, but it's even more difficult to defend against a federal case. So that's why a lot of people take plea agreements. But Chauncey's being represented by Mark Mukasey, who also represented Donald Trump in 2019, the current commander in chief, when he had that suit to stop Manhattan's DA from obtaining his tax returns. Now, of course, he's not speaking to any of the media. They've been trying to reach out to him, but that's who Chauncey's got. So he's got a high dollar attorney. Ron Naclerio was one of the people who appeared in November to show support for Chauncey as well. Legendary coach of Benjamin Cardoza High in Queens. He's known them since 1997, coming out of Colorado in the 97 NBA draft. Um, Chauncey had a $5 million bill, guys, and he posted it. So at least he has the money somewhere. Another person that was on this case that you all may know, one of his co-defendants, former NBA player and coach Damon Jones, who's also indicted for the same things. rigged poker games, and illegal gambling. I don't see a money laundering charge on that, but this is the thing right here. He, of course, has pled not guilty, but 5 years before now, y'all, Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups lived together in Colorado during the pandemic, along with another friend of Chauncey's, Tyronn Lue. You guys know him, the lead assistant for the Clippers, and Lue's cousin, Jay Carter. Billups hired a chef who had been furloughed from a high end restaurant and asked him to prepare meals for his friends to ease some of the burden on his wife. And the three spent their days watching films of NBA season all the way to 2021. So they lived together for the entire pandemic. So I don't know if it was a situation where they got, caught up and they couldn't move because you guys know it was a lot of lockdowns and things like that going on to try to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. But these guys are close. They're like brothers. Um, it makes it extremely sad when you see certain situations like that. In November, prosecutors said they were looking at into 25 specific games between 2019 and 2023. So these are not super long. But in the indictment, Billups and Jones are mentioned in allegations about at least two games in April 2019 and in October 2020 in Las Vegas, a year before Chauncey invited Damon to live with him in the spring of 2020, which is when everything got locked down. Um, Prosecutors are alleging that both Billups and Jones were recruited to the games by Robert Stroud, a 67-year-old Kentucky man with ties to the Gambino crime family. Um, so they got our guy up there looking like a whole mobster. They're saying that this guy has connections to a lot of famous athletes or celebrities, and he basically just has recruited a lot of them um, and used them to lure wealthy victims, like friends of theirs that weren't in those specific industries, excuse me, into playing to the point of having an injury. They got an injury now because now they are victims in rigged games, and then paid them a portion of criminal proceeds. Whoa. So Stroud, the main ringleader, has a long criminal history of violence and gambling, including a manslaughter conviction from a pow pow during a card game in Louisville in 1994. You guys know I use other words because I don't want to get flagged. So you know what pow pow is. Um, this thing is wild, y'all. It involves a whole lot of other people. It's a lot. And so I bring all that up because as I get ready to wrap up, Chauncey Billups, man, what a star. Played with the Pistons from 2002 to 2009. Won a championship with them in 2004. Whoa. Now this is what's crazy right here. And this is when you know that the feds are just connecting every single string they can. And y'all know I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a law student. So anything I say is just my opinion. They literally have that he has a connection to Terry Flannery. Now, if y'all don't know who that is, you better watch BMF. Okay? Black Mafia Family. It's this entire production 50 Cent produced it. It's a good show. They show um, the impact of illegal substances being sold for consumption from Detroit all the way down to Atlanta in the 90s and early 2000s. And the show has a lot of historical information if you're from the Atlanta area or Detroit, especially if you lived here or there during those times. Um, but Terry Flannery, his brother Demetrius Flannery, two of the biggest, trying to figure out how to say this without being flagged, two of the biggest distributors in Detroit history back during that time. They're saying Chauncey has a connection to him. And he was released from prison after serving 12 years of a 30-year sentence. he actually posted a picture on social media of him and Billups posing in front of the Detroit River with the Ambassador Bridge in the background. You guys know the Ambassador Bridge goes into Canada. With the caption, woke up this morning to a surprise. My man, Big Shot Billups, tapping in before both of us head to work. And then Billups responded on the post, always love, bro. Great times ahead. Happy for you. So the feds see that. They suck all that right up. They suck all that right up. The Athletic, which is another sports outlet that you guys could find online, cited a former federal DEA task force officer who said that um, Ernest, another guy that they had, bragged on wiretaps about his connections to NBA players and other famous athletes and identified links on social media between Ernest's family and Billups's family, noting that Billups follows Ernest's wife and daughter. So you can't even really say he's not connected. It's not even, by chance anymore. Before a March 24th, 2023 game between the Chicago Bulls and the Portland Trail Blazers, Billups, who was then Portland's head coach, allegedly relayed non-public information to a man who subsequently used it to wager $100,000. That man was none other than co-defendant Eric Ernest. So this thing is deep. You guys could probably Google all this. This article is insane because when it first comes out and you hear things, it's like, okay, is this really true? But like I said, when the feds are involved, it's pretty much a guarantee. But you're just like, I just don't believe that about this person. I've seen this person on and off the field do things in the community, do things on the court, things of that nature, and they just with their family. You don't hear a lot about them, in the streets with a lot of different people, what have you. Except, like when I say that, like doing things against their spouse, and now you sit there and you're just like, whoa. And then you have to think about it. If the feds got this part, when did it start? When did it all start? The feds don't have from day one. They just have whatever triggered their investigation. So Chauncey looks like he's aged several years. He's gray, everything. I mean, he's older, of course, but just this right here is just a different side of him that we're seeing. To not end on any bummy news, as I get ready to wrap up here, um, let's run through some actual scores right now for some games. I'm going to update you guys as I hop off here. The Jazz fell to the 76ers 106-102. The Hawks game is in progress right now against the Bucks. It's a two-game difference in the first quarter, 11-13. Thunder winning it over the Knicks 103-100. The Trailblazers, they win it over, excuse me, actually they're in the third quarter. They are winning at the moment against the Grizzlies 93-87. Hornets got it done again. Congratulations to my Hornets. 118-89 against the Boston Celtics. The Phoenix Suns, yesterday's game with them, 114-103 against the Kings. And there's some games that will be commencing throughout the next couple of days. Let me make sure I got everything before I hop off of here. There's a game with the Pacers and Clippers coming on here shortly at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. The the only games that are left are the ones I already told you guys about. And tomorrow's game is going to be Jazz versus Wizards, Nets versus Heat, Pistons and Spurs, Bulls, Suns, Lakers, Nuggets, Mavs versus the Magic, Warriors versus the Rockets. We just don't look at the Warriors the same anymore these days. Raptors versus the Timberwolves and the Pelicans versus the Kings. And then you got the same matchup on Friday with some other teams coming in. But it's been real love, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me through the technical difficulties tonight. I look forward to seeing you all on Friday Night Live at 9 p.m., first Friday of the month. And it will be the kickoff preview of a month of celebration for our colleague James J. Train Martin, who is celebrating his birthday on March 12th. And so we share the love around here. But I hope everyone has an amazing day. Stay safe. Be blessed. And make sure you stay tuned to MPN, Nothing But Sports 24/7 without the cost of cable. You guys have a blessed one. Good night.